and welcome to this video. Now, in today's video, we'll be looking at other aspects of comprehension passage. Now, the reading speed is of essence. Averagely, Nigerians read about 30 pages an hour, and that is not good enough, especially under an examination condition. Now, you're to read a comprehension passage of about 400 words in 20 minutes, and you are to read it thrice, like was said earlier. Now, you have to understand that this does not give you ample time, so your reading speed needs to be improved. Now, there are some things that serve as a deterrent or that slows down the reading speed, and these are some of the things I'd like to point out now. Number one is never read with your hands on the lines of the passage. It slows you down. Now, this is because your eyes only focus on one word per time when you read with your hands tracing the lines of the passage. Also, remember to read silently. Now, when I say silently, I mean do not read with your lips moving, no matter how low the volume of your voice is. Read only in your mind and not with your lips. So please remember, that would help you to avoid any distraction and also to serve as a distraction to others who may be reading their own passages. Also, remember that when you read and you come across words that you're not familiar with, it is important not to dwell on them, because by dwelling on them, you're losing valuable time, and also you are not probably going to be able to do the best you can do with the little time you have been given. Now, with this out of the way, we'll proceed to the type of comprehension passages proper. Now, for SSCE students, your type of comprehension passages differ from that of UTME students. Now, this is because in SSCE, your comprehension passages are basically of three types: the narrative, the expository, and those centered on current issues. While for UTME, most of the comprehension passages are basically expository. Then also note, for UTME students, your comprehension passages do come with multiple choice questions. But please do not be fooled to think that that means they are easier to answer. In fact, they are much harder. Because out of about 4 of the options, you have 3 options that are actually right. The only thing the examiner wants you to do is to deduce which is actually the most correct of all the options that you have. Now, back to the SSCE comprehension passages. Now, remember, a narrative comprehension passage is basically an excerpt from a story. Now, one that is expository is actually shedding more light on a particular issue, maybe that is not of public knowledge, and that which is centered on a current national issue or current issue is one that seeks to tell us more about something that is happening as at the time in which the exam was set. So please understand that the technicalities involved in the 2 types of comprehension, that's for SSC and UTME, are way different. Now, for comprehension questions in SSC, please understand that the first set of questions, which is from question 1 to 3, actually tests your knowledge of the periphery of the comprehension passage. Now, what does this mean? These questions are not often deep. They just scratch the surface. From question 4 downwards, you begin to answer questions whose answer you may not be able to get from the lines of the comprehension passage. So for those questions and below, you are expected to do what we call reading for details and inference, or reading between the lines. Then from G and F, depending if letters are used, this is where you are asked to identify the grammatical structure of words that have been italicized or underlined and their functions. Now please, like we said in the earlier video, you must first understand, is it a clause or is it a phrase? Now remember that a clause and a phrase has been defined earlier. So it is when you understand which it is before you can now ask what part of speech does that underlined or italicized words actually fit in. So if it's a noun, then it becomes a noun clause. If it's a phrase, it may become a noun phrase. If it's an adjective, it becomes an adjectival clause. And if it's a phrase, it becomes an adjectival phrase. So please bear that in mind. Therefore, we'll move to the last set of questions. Now, this last set of questions involve you having to replace some words as used in the passage. Now, these words may actually be underlined or be italicized. Now, please remember, when those words are actually listed out, you are not told to define or find the meaning of those words. You are told to look for words that can replace them as used. And that is why you're given the liberty of replacing them either with words or phrases. Now, the examiner understands that some of these words you may find it hard to get other words that can replace them, and that's why you are given the liberty of replacing them with phrases. So please never give the meaning of these words, because by doing that, you are actually doing the wrong thing. You're not following the instruction. Then also, do not give more than one option. Now, some students try to outsmart themselves by saying, okay, I know the meaning of this word, and I know that, oh, 3 words can actually mean the same thing as used. But please give only one option. The examiner will decide whether what you have given is actually right or wrong. In our next video, we'll be looking at examples of some comprehension passages and their answers. Thank you.